Happy Friday! It's Friday. You excited that it's Friday? Welcome to our second installment of What's Cooking Tonight with Ava and Stacey Garcia. We're here for all of your cooking needs and to answer any of your cooking questions. So today, I know it's so hot in sunny Southern California. It's going to be like 100.
That's why we're going swimming today, which we just got a prize.
Yeah. They got some fun diving toys.
We're going to put it in tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, we're going to go into the pool in a little bit. What we are going to be making for you guys today is a stew. So is it weather appropriate? Depending on where you are. But I can have soup any day, any time, depending. It doesn't even matter with the weather. I love my stew. We are going to be making a smoked sausage stew. I'm making mine vegan. I will post the recipe in a couple of hours. You guys can make it as the recipe is, or you can take my substitutions and making it a plant-based recipe. Jonathan did ask everyone to challenge you to become more plant-based this week. So if you want an awesome plant-based recipe, this is the one to go. One of the things I love about this recipe is that it makes in bulk. So you can have it for a few days. And for me personally, since I'm a busy mama, I'm working on my business, I'm cooking and cleaning all the time, distance learning with this little one, I want to make sure that I make things I can make sure I have leftovers so I'm not physically in the kitchen every second. I'm hearing a huge, okay. All right guys, so without further ado, this is what we're going to need ingredients wise. I took the liberty to pre-chop some of our vegetables to make sure that I wasn't looking down the whole time. So this is what I love, okay? Again, you can kind of substitute your veggies however you like. You're gonna need a package of your favorite sausage. Beyond Sausage, the original, is my favorite. It's not spicy, family loves it. This is the sausage of choice, vegan, okay? Again, you can use any kind of sausage that you would like. Second ingredient you're gonna need are potatoes. This is a root vegetable stew. I love the little mini fingerling multicolored potatoes. They're my favorite. The smaller they get, the more tender they're gonna get in the pot. So I just slice these in half. If you have larger potatoes, quarter them. You want them to be relatively small. And you're gonna need carrots and celery. I always have carrots and celery in my stews. This recipe also calls for butternut squash. It's delicious in this recipe. It is a seasonal veggie. My kids aren't too fond of it. It kind of freaked them out, so I stopped using butternut squash in our recipe, and I started substituting with some sliced mushrooms. I love cooked mushrooms. And then you're gonna need garlic, okay? To make my life easier, I always buy garlic that's already peeled. It just makes my life so much easier, and I'm not gonna be peeling, okay? So that's what you're gonna need. Seasoning wise, you're gonna need an Italian seasoning. You're gonna need broth of choice. I always do veggie broth. I'm gonna do 1 low sodium and 1 regular today. But you're gonna make sure that you have about 8 cups worth of veggie broth. And then my cooking oil of choice is avocado oil. You do not want to use olive oil. Olive oil turns toxic when it gets too hot. And canola oil, if you ever see canola oil in a recipe, please omit that and substitute with avocado oil. Canola oil is incredibly toxic. So the oils I always have in hand in the kitchen is avocado. I think I'm gonna have to open this guy as well. I do have my extra virgin olive oil for my salad dressings and light sautés. And I always have my garlic infused olive oil for those as well. And then I have my cooking sprays and then some salt and pepper. So I love the taste of Himalayan pink salt. And then I have my ground pepper as well. Okay? You want to make challah French toast? Here. We can make challah French toast tomorrow. Okay? All right. Yes, that's right. Okay, so make sure that you guys have a nice pot for your soup, a nice large pot. I'm going to put it on medium high. Careful, baby, because there's a knife right over here, okay? Can you just stand, just stand there for now. Okay, so I'm going to heat up the oil a little bit.
What is this?
Those are potatoes and carrots and celery.
Carrots and celery?
Yeah, but they're not cooked, so we're not going to eat them yet, okay? I'm going to put in roughly a tablespoon of oil. I'm going to open up another one just in case. We are going to caramelize our sausage first. So while the oil is starting to warm in the pot, I'm going to slice these bad boys.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah, it is yummy. You love this? I gotta cook it first, okay, puppy dog?
They're so softly.
They're so softy.
Yeah,
He loves, I know, he loves saying
What
softy.
is that?
This is a vegan sausage.
Vegan sausage?
Yeah, delicious.
I like that.
I like that too. We make these a lot we use these in our pasta dishes sometimes.
Yeah.
What else do we use our sausage for?
Oh,
Besides the soups.
Oh, how about the broccoli?
Oh, you want broccoli?
Yeah.
We're not going to do broccoli in a soup, but that sounds delicious. We can eat some broccoli later.
Oh, well, by the way, he cracked my tooth.
Oh, yeah, you want to tell everyone about your tooth?
So, he cracked my tooth with his big, strong head. When he was so excited, he was hugging me, jumping, and then I opened my mouth, saying yay, and then he bumped his head right on my tooth.
You want to smell it?
Yeah.
Okay, don't touch it. It's
And
not cooked yet.
It smell more. It hurted, it was bleeding, so Mom took a napkin and I was trying to get it out myself, and
Okay, don't touch, buddy. We're going to have to wash
Dad
it.
said it was halfway there, and now it is not halfway there because I've been wiggling it a lot, and it's just my gums.
Hayden, would you like to introduce yourself? I didn't introduce you yet.
Oh.
Would you like to say your name and how old you are?
3.
You're 3, and what is your name?
Oh.
He knows his name, baby.
Even go Koshia.
Okay.
That's 26.
I just sliced up the sausage. I'm going to put it in the pan. Yes, Angel.
Mommy,
What, Bubba?
you move this.
Need it to be a little bit warmer. There we go. I hear it going. I hear it going. I can, but I don't want you. You just want to sit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is nice.
Okay, just don't touch anything, okay?
Okay.
You promise?
Promise.
Okay. So, we are going to start cooking down
Mama.
these sausages. Yes, baby love.
I'm a cupcake. Yeah, we eating chocolate and this and this.
Yeah. Okay, sweetie. Daddy needs you. Come here, love machine. Say bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Okay.
Bye.
You come back later. Go to Dada.
But he actually made
I'm going to add just a little bit more oil. So not only are we going to be cooking down the sausage today, but we want to really smoke it and caramelize it so it's really nice and brown. Okay, so make sure that when you guys prepare your sausages, cut them, slice them so they're, I would say 3/4 of an inch to an inch thick. And you're just going to be watching your sausages and just make sure that everything is looking good for a few minutes. Would you like to take over here, cutie girl? Would you like to stir the sausages?
Yes, but I don't want to keep burning myself.
Well, you never burn yourself because you're careful. So why don't you bring it over here? Careful with your hand. And my little helper Ava is going to just stir it. Make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom, and she's gonna be really careful and not touch the pot because she knows that the pot is hot. Good job.
I hope you know that the pot is hot.
Fabulous. Okay, so she's gonna cook that down for a couple minutes. At this point, you wanna make sure that you have your potatoes ready to go, and then your carrots, celery, mushrooms, what other veggies, butternut squash. Butternut squash comes cubed a lot if you want to have it already prepared and ready to go. I highly recommend that. Same thing with mushrooms. I love keeping things as simple for myself as possible. So the more that the market can do to help prep, the better. Okay, so we have everything nice and handy. Make sure you have your seasonings handy. Make sure you have your broth handy. Yeah, put it on the trash. Thank you. That's fine, honey. Thank you. How's it looking, cutie girl?
Really good.
Oh, yes, it is looking really good. So it's starting to caramelize. Let me check it out. Thank you, Haven. Okay, I love you. Go to Dada. All right.
Yeah.
So this needs another couple of minutes. Here, honey. Can you make sure? Do you want to see if we have any questions? I'll check to see if we have any questions. No questions so far. If you guys have any questions during this time, I'd be more than happy to answer any of them related to this dish or any dish about meal prep, about how to make your life easier. Listen, this is a strange time right now, and if you love to cook, if that relaxes you, then I say get creative and try something new every single day. But if you're a busy person and don't have as much time to cook or don't want to cook every single meal all day long, because I prepare probably 4 to 5 meals a day for the family, make sure you make in bulk. Gorgeous. It's almost there. You can stay right now. You want mommy to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's okay. You got it, girlfriend. It's almost ready. So I say at this time, I'm going to introduce the mushrooms in just a minute. And then I'll get my garlic press ready to go.
But everyone knows mushrooms. Why do you have to introduce mushrooms?
You'd be surprised, cutie girl. If you don't have a garlic press, I highly recommend purchasing one. This is an absolute lifesaver.
Can I put garlic in?
Yeah, you can put some garlic in. Don't overwhelm it, but fill it up. All right, I'm gonna put the taters in. There you go. So taters are in.
Just 2 more?
Yeah, do 2 more. Carrots and celery are going in.
There you go.
Okay, go to Dada, please. Thank you, honey boy. All right, I'm gonna put in the mushrooms, and then I'm gonna season all of those awesome veggies in there. I wish you could smell my house right now. It smells so good. And then we haven't even put the garlic in, and that's my favorite scent.
I want one of those.
I know, you always like to snack on it.
I don't like cooked mushrooms, but I like them dry.
6-year-old rules.
I mean 6.5.
Oh yes, 6.5-year-old rules, that's for sure. All right, guys, so I'm mixing it all together. I wish you could see how gorgeous this is right now, but I'll show you in a little bit. Okay, so I am going to add some seasoning. I do this to taste. I find that over seasoning, especially in soups, especially if they're gonna sit for a while, is the way to go. Like a lot of flavor in my stews. So I'm just gonna put some in, and then I'm gonna stir it around, and then I'm gonna put some more in to make sure it's nice and even. I'm gonna take this off the heat just for a second and see if you guys can see how gorgeous this is looking thus far. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more seasoning.
You know, this family rocks the best because We eat a lot of veggies.
Yes, we do. Veggies are life, Ava. Veggies are life. Alright, this is looking gorgeous. I'm going to add some garlic now. The recipe does call for a little bit of paprika. For a little bit of kick, smoked paprika. Comes with a pepper, it's a little spicy. You want to smell?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Oh, I love the smell of paprika. Do you like it? Did it go right down your throat?
Yeah, kind of.
I do not use too much paprika, but again, if you enjoy the spice, definitely make sure you use a good amount of paprika. I'm using a different Italian spice today, Italian seasoning. I found this at Whole Foods, and it's organic. We haven't been to Trader Joe's in a few weeks now, and so I'm learning how to do without Trader Joe's. So I'm ordering all my groceries online, and Whole Foods had this organic Italian seasoning with Mediterranean oregano, and it looks really, really delish. I'm gonna put some salt and pepper. Go for it, baby.
Oh, this is good.
You're gonna salt and pepper to taste. I tend to use lots of pepper, very little salt, and then I'll add more salt in when it's over in case it needs a little bit more, but you can't fix an over salted soup. You can always add more, so be careful with it. And I would recommend using a low sodium broth and then kind of adding in your own. I just love Whole Foods regular broth, it's the best. I'm gonna add some more garlic too, cute girl, okay? So we're gonna just put this garlic in, and then you can add some more, because Mama loves her garlic. I try to stay away from onions because they're not great for my tummy, but garlic I tend to be able to.
But onions are so good from Dad's smash burgers.
I save the onions for when Daddy makes his smash burgers, baby. I can't have them all the time. So I'm finding that the flavor is just as great with garlic.
The garlic is tiny.
This looks so beautiful. Can you see?
Wow.
I'll sharpen one in a little bit. Okay, this will be it for the garlic, so if you want to close that bag, honey, that will be great. Ooh, she's making me work for it. She put in a lot of garlic.
And I put in big ones.
Yeah, you did great, baby. Oh, this looks amazing, and it smells even better. And the best part of this is the fact that when we're done with this video, the soup will be just about done. We can stick it in a crock pot, and then we can have it later, and I don't have to cook dinner tonight. So I always cook Shabbat dinner, and now it's gonna be ready. And I get to just enjoy the kiddos and go swimming and have a fun Friday.
Mom used to not like Mandalorian, and she finally got into it, and she's like,
So this is what the stew looks like before I put the broth in. It's gorgeous.
and she's like, I love Mandalorian now.
All right. So this is looking gorgeous. I'm gonna add the broth to it. And by all means, guys, if you want to create your own broth, I say go for it. There's nothing like a homemade broth. But for the person who wants their dinner ready within a half an hour and doesn't want to spend tons of time in the kitchen, go for some organic veggie broth or whatever broth you choose. So as soon as we put all this broth in, we're going to give it a nice little stir. We're going to bring the soup to a boil. And once we do, we're going to lower the heat down.
Someone put a thumbs up.
Oh, awesome, baby. We're going to lower the heat to a very low setting and let it simmer uncovered for 40 minutes. So I'm going to give it a nice little stir, and I'm going to raise the heat a hair. Make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom. Sometimes your sausage will stick a little, so you just want to make sure that everything is evenly spread. Okay. So as we bring the soup to a boil, We are going to put everything away. Again, as soon as it boils, we're going to lower it down. We're going to have a nice slow simmer for 40 minutes. And then once their 40 minutes are up, you can put in any dark leafy green. I put in kale at the very end, and I do a rough kale. So I'll show you what I got from Whole Foods. I can't wait for my kale in my garden to be ready to go. I can't wait to show you guys what's in my garden. But I just used a chopped kale. I want it to be pretty coarse just because it's going to be going into the soup, and we're going to actually have the soup sit for a while because we're not going to have dinner until about 6 o'clock. So right when the 40 minutes is done, you're going to put your kale in. You're going to stir it up, let it sit for like a minute or two, and then your soup is ready to go. This is my vegan version. If you want to make it vegetarian and you want to put a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top, that is absolutely delicious. And that's about it. I'll send you guys a picture when the soup is done. It's delicious, and the longer it sits, the better. So I'm kind of excited that we're going to be done with it. I'm going to transfer it to the crock pot and just keep it warm and really let those flavors infuse together. It tastes better the longer it sits. Tomorrow's leftovers are going to be even better. Yes, Angel, what would you like to say?
I wish we can show you how cozy Hayden is.
What is Hayden doing?
He is really cozy. I just kept him.
Is there anything else you'd like to say about our soup today? Any other tips that you would like to say?
You can make it vegan like Mom if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, any way you would like. I challenge you to make it vegan. I challenge you to buy some Beyond sausages or any of your vegan sausage of choice. It's delicious. It's another great way to get all of your veggies in for your day. Right?
Mm.
Yeah. So eat, enjoy, have a beautiful, blessed Friday. As you can see, it's only been 20 minutes. I did pre-chop some of the veggies before, and that took about 10-15 minutes. So you're looking at a half an hour of work, then letting it sit for 40 minutes, and then it's ready to go, okay? So it really doesn't take long. It's a one-pot meal. You really don't need anything to go along with it. What?
I would say one more thing.
Go ahead.
By the way, for my PE today, I did 30 jumping jacks.
That's right. So you really don't need much else to go with it, okay? Maybe a nice glass of wine. But besides that, if you want to add some delicious like French bread, a nice baguette, beautiful. We have a challah for later for Shabbat. But enjoy, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We look forward to see you guys next Friday for our third episode of What's Cooking Tonight with Stacey and Ava Garcia. I will post the recipe soon so you guys can all enjoy one of my favorite dishes of all time. All right? Peace, guys. Have a great one.
Get cooking. We might do a bean soup. That would be lovely.
Oh, let's do that. That sounds good. Say bye to everyone.
Bye.